All right. Let's see. All right. I believe we are going, right? Good morning, and welcome to yet another episode of Red Stone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo. Alright, let's go. Okay. Not even crashing. It doesn't even crash. Right? It doesn't even crash. They fixed it. I need to buy the makers of sodium some coffee. There's a button there, right? It'd be easy. Okay. Yes. Hey, check this. Okay. Let's orient, right? Let's orient because you just like pop into this world real quick. So, we are down deep. I finally made an elevator down to the bottom. We're at Y level minus 58. Y level minus 58. It's positive until it hits like Y level 0, and then when you go below Y level 0, it starts counting down in the negative. So Y level 58 is 58 levels below Y level 0. 0 being the base. Okay. Yeah. So here I am. Here I am. And I just dug out stuff. Just dug out a hole. And I made a nice elevator. And you know what? When you come down to Y level minus 58, it turns out it's lava. It's all lava. It's not all lava, obviously. It's not all lava. But there's a lot of lava around that chilling at this level. You gotta be real careful. Okay. Alright, so what else is going on? Yeah, here, this nifty little device I made out of redstone, and it's very simple, right? There's a dropper right there, 2 blocks, one on the east and one on the south, and then on the south side you have a comparator reading through the block to the dropper. The comparator is reading it, and it puts out a signal into this repeater, which blasts at full power into this block, which then like lights up this redstone, and it continues on. So it does 2 things. It touches this one to power this dropper, so it gets powered, and then the signal goes into the side of the repeater, or of the comparator. So what is even the comparator doing? It's comparing the signal strength from the dropper to the signal strength of that thing right there, because it's reading into the side. So what happens is there's one item that generally there's one item that falls into the hopper, or into the dropper, out of the hopper, because it's flowing out one at a time. So only one item's in there. So the signal strength is only 1. So the comparator puts out a signal strength of 1, but then it gets picked up by a repeater, and that guy amplifies everything to max, full blast. So now it's back up to 15, the maximum, right? Which 15 into this block, 15. I believe this is 14, 13, 12. So now it's reading into it 12, and it's only getting out 1. So since the signal is stronger from this side than from the front, this guy turns off, which turns this guy off, which turns everything off. And when that turns off, whatever's inside the dropper gets popped out one by one. So just one thing will get popped out. But then the next thing falls in from the dropper, or from the hopper. And then the comparator goes, oh, look, something else. And then the cycle repeats over and over again. over and over again until the dropper is empty. So I have this going up my big water tunnel to my item sorter up on the surface. And then I found out, digging around, right? I found out that, oh, this actually connects to an old tunnel I've already dug. It's amazing. I didn't dig this tunnel, I found this tunnel. But I've already been here. I've already been here. It all connects. It all connects. Yeah, it all connects. Da, 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 da. I've already been here. All these torches were already placed. Of course, I destroyed my like nice way of getting out, but I can still like manage. I had a much nicer way of doing this, but like, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So this is like my old path. Da da da. So it's funny how things connect, and then you can see things in relation to one another, and then get a better understanding of the whole. Even if you can't see the whole, if you can find various parts to relate to, then you can get an idea. It's all about relations. Right? That's a level of reality. That's what made Einstein famous. I mean, literally, that's what made Einstein famous. Is the idea of relativity. So it's not like it's not like an ancient idea that we've had ever since the beginning. It's something the humans only like figured out recently. Like within 100 years. Hey, that's a bad guy. No bad guys are to spawn here. This is my decree. Okay, so I've been digging this tunnel out on Y level, what, 8? And then eliminate the number 8. Eliminate the number 8. Eliminate the number 8. This connects to another giant place that I've already explored. So like my main base was not far off from everything else. However, I did note there is a section I have not explored. There could very well be delicious items down there if I were to but explore it. So, but it's way down there, right? And I tried to dig to it, but I can't figure out what Y level it's at. Ow. What? Oh, there were skeletons right there. Ah, danger, danger. Yeah, right. I could have got shot and knocked off. In fact, I would have been shot and knocked off had I not been wearing this awesome netherite armor. I got netherite armor. So, my knockback is much less. So I fear skeletons less. But they're still there to be feared. Okay, how do I go back? That's right. So there's the Minecraft part of it. Whoa. I'm not sure if I've done anything on the surface. Let me go check. Relativity. Relative position. Relative to one another. Astrophysics. A lot of math. Oh yeah, okay, so that's the other thing. So I updated from 1.2 Minecraft. I updated it from 1.21.4 to 1.21.5. And that, I mean, almost all the mods work. except for distant horizons, which makes me sad. But then I'm seeing the vanilla Minecraft, and it's really not that bad. I mean, when you turn on the fog, you lose your ability to see the big picture, so you can still get lost without the coordinates. But yeah, I mean, they did a good job even without the I didn't sleep. It's a rainy day. Okay. So yeah, I don't have distant horizons, so you can't see very far. But that's all in Minecraft, right? Oh yeah, and I mean, you already saw the wheat making system. See, I need a better way of getting to the island. My current way of going to the island is laborious. And then these guys hanging out on the roof, like, what's going on? I gotta get them down. So yeah, I put a foundation down, and I don't know why. I do know why. It's because I thought I was gonna bring all the vegetables over here, but then I'm like, hey, why don't I just utilize the existing system and expand it, which I did. So yay! Yay! But yeah, it's a lot scarier when you can't see very far. It's much scarier. It reminds me of like my first days of playing Minecraft, when my chunk view distance was set at 8. I couldn't see anything. So it was terrifying, and then I had no coordinates. So I had no landmarks and no coordinates, and so I was terrified of leaving my base, because it would be easy to get lost and not be able to find my way back. I think my first time I went looking for slime balls, because I couldn't find a slime. I was playing Bedrock. I couldn't find a slime chunk. And so I had to go to a swamp biome, which was like not too far away from my my base, but far enough that it was like a journey, and it was terrifying. Like, it inspired me to make a rail line to it, because it was so easy to get lost. Anyways, so yeah, we are, the United States is being taken over by fascists in an administrative coup. They've fired all the career politicians and replaced them with political lackeys, so that it's not really competent anymore. And we know this because I know this because all I have to do is look at Signalgate. What is Signalgate? Signalgate is the scandal currently rocking the world. Signalgate is currently rocking, well, maybe not the world, but the United States. I mean, maybe the world. So, remember, Donald Trump fired all the career politicians, or not politicians, career bureaucrats, people who are there because they're competent, and they would maintain their position over multiple administrations because their job isn't political. They're there for their competence, not for their politicalness. So, but Donald Trump fired them and replaced them with people who weren't necessarily competent, but they fit his political agenda. And those people tend to be white. Not always, but they tend to be. So what happened in Signalgate was there was a meeting convened by government officials, Trump officials, because all these people were appointed by Trump. And they used a commercial app, a messaging app, instant messaging app. You know, instant messaging. They used a commercial one called Signal. You know, which is, as far as I heard, like I've heard two different things, that it's great and that governments can already hack it. So I don't know what the deal is, but I do know that it's a bit odd that they be using their own personal devices. Now those personal devices are easy to hack. They're easy to break into. They're easy to break into. So you don't even need to break Signal. You don't even need to break the app. All you need to do is break the thing under the app, which is the phone. And they can do that for sure. State level actors can for sure break phones. Easy. I wouldn't say easy, but they can do it. So these Trump officials were using their own personal devices to send military plans 2 days before it actually happened. Now, we only know about this because someone inadvertently invited the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, which is a publication, a respected publication with a reputation to protect. So, yeah, they discussed this stuff, right? And in the course of this chat, like, yeah, the journalist, the editor wasn't sure if he was supposed to be there or if he was being pranked. So he took screenshots of all this stuff. And then left the chat, which is crazy. He should have stayed in the chat. He should have stayed there. He should have saw what else they were doing, what other crimes they were committing. Because in the course of just that chat that he was in, they discussed how they conducted the operation. How do they conduct the operation? Their target was one guy. And he was in like a city. He was in a city. And the guy walked into a residential building. A building where many people live. And they're not all affiliated with the guy. In fact, none of them were, right? Because it wasn't even the guy's house. He was going to visit his girlfriend. And they must have had somebody on the ground watching, because they knew the moment he walked into the building. Because that was the go signal that it was okay to do the strike. So they're talking about this on chat, right? On this commercial chat. One of the people on their personal phones in this commercial chat is in Moscow. So of course his phone is being hacked. Have you heard about the technology called Stingray? Stingray is a technology used by law enforcement to like intercept all the signals coming out of your phone. They don't need to hack your phone. All they have to do is intercept the signals, and they know what key presses you made. So they know everything you typed. They just intercept those signals. So if the police can do that now to cell phones, it's called Stingray. Look it up. Imagine what a state level actor can do when you're in their home country. When you're in their country, imagine what kind of setup they can make to intercept your personal uh, cell phone signals. It's easy. It's easy for them. That's why we make government phones that can't be hacked and that use secure technology. That's why we do it. But they chose not to. And then you say, well, why? Why do they choose not to do it? Why do they choose to use an insecure app on personal devices? Why would they choose to do that? And the answer is because those messages self-delete. So there's no record. Because they are not a transparent organization. They're not running the government transparently. They're running it as their own personal power project. And they don't want you to know, so that's why they have all their messages deleted. And that's why they use their own personal apps instead of government phones. Because they don't want a record. Why don't they want a record? Because it reveals they are fucking incompetent, number one. And number two, that they're criminals. Because come back to that operation. There was some kind of human intelligence, human spy asset on the ground watching this guy in his movements and was able to confirm when he walked in the building because they said so in chat, right? The plan, their brilliant plan, was to drop a fucking bomb on the whole building and destroy the whole building. And that's what they did. So what ended up happening was but they're in a city, right? They're in a city, and he walked into a residential building filled with people that were not his family, that were not his like they had nothing to do with him, not affiliated. They're not his soldiers. They weren't his family. Even then, like even if they're family, like the family doesn't necessarily have power over what that guy does. Like kids are innocent, dude. Kids are innocent. They had nothing to do with anything. But the United States dropped a fucking bomb on a residential building to get one guy, and they ended up killing over 50 people who had nothing to do with it. So that makes the United States the bad guys. 5 kids were involved in that. 5 children died as a result of the United States bombing an entire building to get one guy. They killed 50 people, 5 children, for one guy. That makes the United States the bad guys. Right? Do you understand that? We're the terrorists. The United States are the terrorists. They're the evil empire. You know the Star Wars, when the Empire, like the people are just living, and then the Empire flies by with a jet and with their TIE fighter and just fucking murders everybody, and they can't do anything, right? Because they're just running around the ground like the little village, and the TIE fighter just comes by and just fucking kills them all and flies away. That's us. We're the evil empire. Like, you want to kill your bad guy? You want to stop evil? Fucking find a way to do it without killing innocent people, because by killing innocent people, you become the bad guy. You are what you hate. Quote, quote, whatever. You become what you hate. Like, that, right? They've become what they hate. They committed terrorism. Now, the defense will be, oh, but they're bad guys because they fire missiles at Israel. Why are they firing missiles at Israel? Well, they're firing missiles at Israel because Israel is genociding the Palestinian people. Okay. Why are the Israelis genociding the Palestinian people? Because Israel wants the land. Why do they want the land? I don't know. Why don't you ask Donald Trump? Why does he want Canada and Greenland? Why does Ukraine, or why does Russia want Ukraine? Why does China want Taiwan? Because that's imperialism. The bad guys. Remember the story? Once upon a time, kings were like tyrants. They're like dinosaurs. They ruled the land, and everyone got crushed underneath them. But then humans figured out democracy. And they dispelled the kings. They defeated the kings. And the power was dispersed into the people. But now the tyrants have come back. The dinosaurs have come back. And they're accruing power. They're grabbing power to themselves again. So Donald Trump is and so a tyrant isn't about justice, isn't about equity, isn't about peace, isn't about prosperity. A tyrant is about power. He does things because he has the power to do it, not because it's the right thing, not because it's the just thing, not because it's the moral thing. He does it because he has the power, and he can. And you can't stop him. So yeah, Donald Trump is aligning the United States government to be with the tyrants. Russia, China, Iran, Saudi Arabia. But that's like this. That's what's going on, right? That's what's going on. If that's what's going on, how is this even possible? How is it possible that the United States can switch sides like that? Like, what happened? What's going on over there, man? What's going on over there? Well, I'm thinking about it. How do I recap real quick? The United States was born of slavery and genocide. It's the original sin. Two groups that were not necessarily cohesive, nevertheless banded together in order to win their independence. Once these two groups secured their independence, their interests diverged. And so there was a civil war. But what were the two groups? Industrialists and slavers. You had two different groups, industrialists and slavers. And they banded together in order to defeat the monarchy that ruled them. So they became independent, but then they too became their own imperial power, because they expanded into territory that wasn't theirs. Because they were using the same ideology that they left, that they supposedly broke free from. So it was a bit of hypocrisy. But anyways, once these two groups became relatively secure, they turned on each other. Well, I wouldn't say turned on each other. I would say the slavers attacked the industrialists. And there was a civil war, and the slavers lost. But the industrialists did not utterly destroy the slavers. They let the slavers live. Like the power structure. I don't say like let the actual literal people live. I mean the power structure. They let the power structure live by not punishing the leaders. So that ideology of slavers never really left. Never really left. Like the people in the United States like to cheer our last big win, which was, I would say, World War II, right? World War II is what set up the world according to the United States. So people are nostalgic for that time, but remember during that time also we still had Jim Crow slavery, or not slavery, Jim Crow segregation. Like it wasn't necessarily enlightened, but white America likes to look back on that and be like, yeah, that was great. Because it was before the civil rights movement. Like I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, here. What do I got here? Okay, anyways, yeah. So there's a struggle between the slavers and the industrialists. The capitalists, whatever. Civil War didn't really end it. They spread westward, conquering and stealing territory until they got to the West Coast. They tried to conquer and steal the territory of Canada too. Ha ha ha. but that didn't work out too well. Yeah, I would say until about the 1960s, or 50s and 60s, when it all came to a head, because the segregation, the apartheid system couldn't be maintained anymore. Because that's basically what it was. It was apartheid. Apartheid United States is what won the World War II, because it was apartheid. Like it took the World War II for, well, no, even after that, it was apartheid until the civil rights movement. So when people are nostalgic about World War II, I wonder how much of it is that they're nostalgic for the segregation and the apartheid that was existent then. Anyways. Let's start doing this stuff. Alright, Zelensky. Zelensky is a cool guy. He could fill up a plane with money and escape Ukraine, but he didn't. He could hide in a bunker, but he didn't. He could hand the country over to the Russians, but he didn't. This is what bravery and honor looks like. And that's Volodymyr Zelensky. That's the president of Ukraine. Cool guy. When Russia first started the invasion in the second invasion in 2022, the Western powers had arranged for planes to take the whole government and escape Ukraine back to the West. And Zelensky refused to get on the plane. He said, I need ammunition, not a ride. Man, it was like scary in the beginning, in the first few days. Russia thought they were going to roll over Ukraine, and they didn't. They lost like a bunch of their best guys right in the beginning. Yo, what's up? Go away. How y'all doing? How you doing? I'm just looking over my slides and remembering things about them. What else do I got? I was talking about Signal Gate. Oh yeah, Signal Gate. I was talking about how the United States has become the bad guy, the evil empire. It's reproducing the imperialism of its past that it supposedly got over, but then has slipped back into. Yeah, so yeah, so it was apartheid in the United States until the Civil Rights Movement, and then we had a bunch of progress, but that progress has been slowly being chipped away by the remnants of the Confederacy, which have returned. Like, man, these are such broad strokes. I'm like, oh, raw! I'm like using two paint rollers, raw, to paint this picture. It's like not gonna look too good unless you back up a lot. What else do I got here? Oh yeah. So I put a quick timeline on this insane Signal classified chat, and sure enough, it looks like Kremlin asset Witkoff was in Moscow when he was added to the Houthi chat. I checked Russian media, and he left 3:14 Friday morning, Moscow time. Meanwhile, the chat was set up on Thursday. So basically the Russians got in real time the classified information that they were chatting about. So like, I mean, I'm not a military guy. I worked with PII with sensitive information for sure, and I have to go through a lot of training on that. Like every year, every year they renew our training. And I would be in big trouble if I were like leaking out personally identifiable information, like, which isn't, I don't think, anywhere near the level of classification of as secret and top secret information is, like the information that was leaked out. So what do I got here? Anyways, so that's when So Michael Waltz added you to the group. So in the Houthi PC small group. That's oops, hold on. Ooh, test. Am I still working? My headphone reset. All right. So the email is linked to a Russian phone number and a Proton inbox. Concerning, look into this. Oop. Interesting article about how the Trump administration's security advisors' mobile phone numbers, emails, and passwords can be found in commercial databases and publicly available leaks. My question is, why does Pete Hegseth have a Russian email address? If hard truth shockers, whoever that is, says, if hard work made you rich, every farmer would be a billionaire. But they're not. Because the system doesn't reward labor, it rewards leverage. Modern capitalism isn't about effort, it's about exploitation. This is true. This is true. But we've known that since, like, Marx. And Engels. Alright, so this is Elon Musk buying our democracy. He already did it once in Pennsylvania, and I don't know why he didn't get in trouble for it. But he's doing it again in Wisconsin. So there's a very, very, very important race right now in Wisconsin for the Supreme Court. They vote for their Supreme Court justices. I mean, I guess we do too, right? And even though judges are not supposed to be partisan, they kind of are. So Republican judges in Wisconsin will help the Republican agenda of segregation and apartheid, and capitalism. I mean, I guess the Democrats also do capitalism, but I don't know. All right. Anyways, so Wisconsin's Supreme Court is split with Democrats having a one-seat advantage. So if this election flips to the Republicans, they're just going to undo all the progress Wisconsin has made. Like, Wisconsin got captured by Republicans 10 years ago when the Republicans like took power and gerrymandered the whole state, so they locked themselves in. So they've been struggling to get out of that lock for a while now. So yeah, but Elon Musk is literally paying people to sign a pledge to vote vote Republican. He's like, if you vote for a Republican, like, sign a pledge and I'll give you $100 with a chance to win $1 million. Like, holy shit! Talk about incentivization. Like, he's literally buying the election. He already did it in Pennsylvania. He already bought a president because he dumped in like $300 million into Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Like, and he's like the shadow president right now. Fuck Elon Musk. That's why people are protesting him. I was there the other day, and here's a good way of figuring out. Like, remember? Okay, I don't know if you were here, Mr. Go Away, but earlier in the episode, I talked about relativity. Relativity is like a fantastic way of thinking. Like, it's a great tool. I mean, you can't use it for everything, but it's a great tool to have if you know how to use it. So, another form of relativity, I guess you could say, is association. Like, what are the associations that a group has? Like, who is this group associated with? If you're looking at a group and you're not really sure, like, where they are, like, where is this person? If you put them in relation to everyone else, if you look, like I said, if you back up and you look at them, look at the one group, not in isolation, looking at their particular activities, but in relation to all the other actors that you already know about. You already know about these people. This guy here, you don't know about. So you put this guy down, and then you put him in relation to all the other people, and then from the association, from their relative position to everyone else, you can figure out where this group is, like, and find their relative position. So Elon Musk is a Nazi. He's a racist. He is the world's richest private citizen. And he's cutting the jobs of federal workers willy-nilly, while his co-president, Donald Trump, installs tariffs on all of our allies. To wreck our economy. Because he has the capital. So when everyone loses their ass because the economy crashes, who's going to be there with cash to buy it up? All the rich billionaires. Because then they can privatize everything. So Elon Musk, like, understand, it's easy to place Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a bad guy. Let me turn this down a little bit. Elon Musk is turn that down more. Elon Musk, there we go. Elon Musk is a bad guy. He's a Nazi. He's the richest person on the planet, and you can only get that way through exploitation. It's not like he earned it. It's not like he worked a billion times harder than anyone else. It's not that he's a billion times smarter than everyone else. It's that he exploits other people and takes what's theirs and makes it his own. So the guy who's the best at exploiting people is also a Nazi and in control of the United States government. It's taking a hacksaw to it, just destroying our stuff from the inside. So you got to think, well, who are the people allied in relation with Elon Musk? And you go, oh, well, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is absolutely allied with him. And we know Donald Trump is a criminal, a felon, a rapist, a fraudster, like racist, sexist. Like he's the worst. Donald Trump is like Biff from Back to the Future. So those two people are relative to one another. Wow, that's incredible. Now you take this group called, let's say, the Proud Boys, right? Let's take the Proud Boys. So you may not know about them. I can tell you about them. But you may not know about them. Let's just say that you don't know anything about them. And I can. So you got to figure out, well, are they good guys or bad guys, right? Scratch. Like, what are the Proud Boys? So you don't know about them, but maybe let's see if we can place them in relative position. Are they closer to the Democrats or the Republicans, the progressives or the conservatives? Like, where are they on the spectrum here? In the field. Let's place them in the field. Well, one piece of information is that their leader, Henry Tarrio, was convicted and sentenced and convicted for seditious conspiracy to overthrow the government of the United States. So the Proud Boys, his organization, and a number of other members of his gang were sentenced to prison. Whoa, okay, so they participated in the January 6th insurrection to overthrow the United States. So they're obviously on Team Trump because they're, they participated in his attempt. They're obviously associated with Elon Musk, so they're on the like the Nazi side, right? We're like, okay, we can put them on the Nazi side. All right, I can. Another piece of information I can put out there is that they lost control of their own logo. Some time ago, back in 2020, I think, they attacked a black church and vandalized it, and they were sued. And like, I don't know exactly what happened, but the judge said, well, you no longer have control of your trademark. I'm going to give the trademark over to this church. So now a black church has control of the Proud Boy trademark. If anyone tries to go commercial with it, they can't. And any proceeds they make have to go to this black church. So pretty interesting. But if you're opposed to a black church, that's another way of placing this group relative to everyone else. Anyways, so Americans are protesting, are getting angry, and they're protesting Elon Musk. And the way they protest him is they target his car company, Tesla. Like, the way rich people operate, it's so weird. I should have kept that clip. Trevor Noah like described it really well. They say shit like, "Oh, I'm not really rich because it's all on paper. Like, I own all this stock, but the stock, if I sell it, the price goes down, so I'm worth less money. So if I were to translate all my stock into material, into like cash, it would be worth much less than if I just keep it in stock. So I'm not really super wealthy," is what they'll say, right? But then they turn around, like Elon Musk says, "I'm not really that rich." Go Away says, "Did you see Biggs is now whining on a fundraiser because he can't provide for his family?" I did see that. I saw a quick image of it. Yeah. He's like, "I can't get a job. No one will hire me." Well, no shit. You tried to overthrow the government. Just because you eat bullshit doesn't mean everyone else does. Ah, man. Yeah, I was getting to that, right? Relative placement. Okay. But Elon Musk says, "I'm not really rich because all my wealth is not in cash, it's in stocks." And so he says, "You can't tax me because none of that wealth is real." He'll say this, right? Then he turns around and says, "Okay, I'm going to take this stock and I'm going to use it as collateral to borrow money." Like, so it may not be real for purposes of taxation, but it's real for purposes of borrowing money. So he can use it as collateral to borrow like $44 billion from his friends. And then he can buy a social media platform with it to amplify Nazi fucking propaganda. But it's not taxed. So his wealth is real enough to buy a social media company and all the power associated with it, but it's not real enough to tax. So it's bullshit, dude. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. These guys are fucking gaming the system to exploit people for their own personal power. And they avoid taxation by saying that it's not real, but yet it acts as if it's real. Like, you can buy shit with it as if it's real. Anyway, so like if you're looking like this, it's like, damn, Elon Musk and Donald Trump are fucking evil people. They're terrible people. So then people are protesting, right? They're like, protest. We don't want Elon Musk to have this kind of control over us. So they're protesting his car company because they're swastikas. They're Nazi. He's a Nazi, and this is his car. It's a Nazi car. right? He's a Nazi, ergo, his car is Nazi. The car he makes is Nazi. And he uses the money from the sales of cars to go buy social media companies and destroy our government. So there's a direct link from Tesla to Elon Musk. So people are protesting, as is their right. However, for some reason, the Proud Boys have decided that, oh, the world's richest man, he's the richest person on the planet. We are going to give him free labor. The world's richest man needs our free labor. They're so stupid. So the Proud Boys, for no money, go to Tesla dealerships to provide security for the world's richest man. They're not helping the poor people. They're not helping like the victims, any victims or anything. They're not helping anybody. They're helping the world's richest man by giving him free labor. Man, I can't believe it. So it's not like it's legitimate, right? It's not like they're legitimately to provide free labor. What they're doing is they're a gang. They're all about violence. I have fucking hours of video of them being violent, right? I know, like I know them already. They're a terrorist group. They're there to terrorize people from exercising their rights. That's what they are, right? I mean, they're Nazi brown shirts. They're the American version of Proud Boys, are the American version of Nazi brown shirts. So they're only there. They say they're there to give the world's richest man free labor. That's what they say. But what they're really there for is intimidation. To scare people from exercising their right. The problem is they're a lot smaller than the American people, who are fucking pissed. I got a video of these guys. So there was a protest in Salem yesterday, and there's a lot of support. You can hear that, but then and then the Proud Boys come to try to intimidate, but they are way, way, way outnumbered. Look at these assholes trying to act all tough. So one of the funny things is that they came up to me and asked, "Where's your American flag?" Because they think unless you carry an American flag, you're not an American. That you forget where you are. Like, why do you need an American flag to protest against Elon Musk taking over the government?
They're a whole gang, dude.
They're a whole gang?
Yeah.
They're a whole gang. Like people walking down the grass.
No, they...
So this guy tries to, if you listen, this guy that I'm talking to, he's a Proud Boy, but he's not dressed up like them, and he's not walking next to them. So like, I'm not even looking at him. I'm watching the Proud Boys. So he's talking to me, and I'm speaking to him in good faith, right? He sounds like he's a regular guy, and he's just talking to me in good faith because he's not walking with the Proud Boys, and he's not dressed like a Proud Boy. So let's hold on, let's back up here.
They're a whole gang.
Anybody that has a flag is suspicious.
See with the Nazi sign. Nice.
Yeah, they're a whole.
He noted my sign. My sign says Musk is a Nazi. Right? Musk is a Nazi. It's simple and truthful. It's direct to the point. So so unbeknownst to me, he's taken offense to my sign because what he says to me, he says nice. Is it really nice, or he's a Nazi, right? What he's doing is he's presenting his false face. He's two-faced. He's two-faced.
Gang, dude.
They're a whole gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a whole gang. They are. They're leaders in prison. They're a gang. They were involved in the in the attempt to overthrow the United States, and they attacked me. I have video of it. I mean, they're a gang. They're a gang. They're a gang. Of course.
It looks like a couple of people walking down the grass.
No, they.
Does that look like a couple of people walking down the grass? They're wearing fucking uniforms, holding an American flag. Like, that's weird.
Their leader got imprisoned for 22 years for insurrection, trying to.
Yep, that's Enrique Tario. I got hours of video of these guys, but the video I have now is old. All the video I have is from 2020, that summer. So it's old video. I don't have anything. This is like the most recent. This is yesterday.
So the government.
Dude, you gotta get a life.
So he said, dude. So I said, oh yeah, their leader of this gang was in prison for 22 years for seditious conspiracy to overthrow the government. And his response is, dude, you gotta get a life. What? What does any of that have to do with me? Zero. It had nothing to do with me. But do you see how Nazis operate? They just turned it into an attack. So basically he walks up to me and is just talking. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the gang, and he slaps me in the face with this insult. So he pretended to be friendly, but in actuality he was not. So it's not genuine. He lacks integrity.
Really?
Right, he does, right? He's like in prison for like 22 years. He would have been, but fucking the criminal felon.
Gotcha.
Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, criminal felon. You understand that Donald Trump was imprisoned for, not in prison. Donald Trump was convicted of felony fraud. 34 counts of felony fraud. He's a felon. Donald Trump's a felon. Literally a felon. He was also found liable for defamation regarding his sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll. So the judge said, well, basically you're a rapist. A judge said that, right? So Donald Trump is a felon and a rapist. This is what's up, right? That's the truth. So we know this to be true.
Felony fraud.
Biden's out.
Donald Trump, felony fraud for 34 years, for 34 counts of felony. So like, yeah, that's the way it works, dude. I mean, these guys are Nazis. It's terrible.
Who is? Look at you right here. There, Chuck.
So and then he's like, who is? You see, they act dumb because they are dumb. Oh yeah, hey, you want to hear the rest? You want to see the rest? I don't want to hear the rest.
You guys are Nazis. It's terrible.
Who is? Look at you right here. There, Chucklehead.
Look at you right here, Chucklehead. How is it that he's calling me a Nazi when he is the one associated with Elon Musk, who is literally a Nazi? How is it? Because that's what fascists do. Fascists will because they don't care about truth, right? Fascists, and so they don't have any integrity. So because they don't have integrity, they will fucking shapeshift and bend into any direction, right? That's the benefit of not having integrity. You can bend any way you need to. Any way you need to go, you can bend. So I mentioned that Donald Trump is a felon and a criminal, and he says, no, Biden is the criminal. Was Biden convicted? Was Biden ever put on trial? Is Biden literally a felon? No, none of that's true, but his concern isn't about the truth, it's about power. So he recognizes, oh, these words that I'm saying, that I'm saying, these truths that I'm saying about Donald Trump are powerful. So he doesn't care about the truth of it, he cares about the power, so he just repeats them and flips them. He's like, ooh, I want that power, so I'll just flip it and shoot. You just bends in half. He doesn't even care. He's got no integrity. Yeah, that's so two things. That guy needs a life. They're wearing uniforms and drunkenly walking around attacking people. And they're providing free labor for the world's richest man because they're stupid and they don't realize the value of labor. Fascism is a funhouse. Okay, so fascism is a funhouse mirror version of whichever culture from which it springs. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah.
Right there. There's a Nazi right there. I've got one right on camera. Look at these Nazis.
So, yeah. That guy right there. That guy right there. That guy putting his thumbs down. I have him on video, dude. He tried to steal my megaphone, and then when I stopped him from stealing my megaphone, he punched me in the face. And then a cop grabbed me and threatened to arrest me. Yeah, dude. Fuck police. Anyways, yeah, I've got like it's just a bunch of these guys. I don't want to hear your fucking bullshit. Because once they all they bunch up, they start talking shit. Like, how old is this guy? What are you even fucking doing here? Don't you have a life? Alright, okay, enough of that. This time, no. The Proud Boys thought they were way outnumbered, and they just, like, ended up leaving. They tried, some of the Trumpers tried to hijack the whole thing. They had a big Trump banner, and they tried to stand in the front, but it didn't really work. Because it was huge. The whole line behind them was huge of anti-Trump, anti-Musk. So their attempt didn't work. Then they tried to go on the other side of the street and try to like get rallies pointed at them, but it didn't work either. Because people aren't on their side. People recognize the world's richest man is not the side to be on. Because it's relative. You don't have to like know everything about a person or about a thing in order to place them relatively. Okay. Ah, man. Tulsi Gabbard fires more than 100 intelligence officials over messages in a chat tool. And then she turns around and uses a improper chat tool. So, like, in a normal administration, Michael Waltz would be fired for creating the chat. Pete Hegseth would be fired for putting secret and top secret classified info on a commercial app. And Tulsi Gabbard would be fired for purging herself yesterday when she said there was nothing classified in the chat. But it's not a normal administration. They're not competent career bureaucrats, like apolitically running pressing the levers and stuff and the buttons. No, they're political appointees who are not competent, but they'll do whatever the administration wants them to do. Man, yeah, I did that one already. Oh yeah, Jasmine Crockett. So Jasmine Crockett is a Dem rep from Texas, and she referred to Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels, and that's causing the right-wing people to get all upset. They say, "Oh, how dare you refer to Governor Governor Abbott as Hot Wheels?" So Duchess Prim says, "Look, we're all conflicted about Jasmine's comments, but let's revisit this nugget. Greg Abbott was jogging, and a tree fell on him, paralyzing him. Greg then sued the homeowner and the tree service company, ensuring he'd receive about $14,000 a month. On that same date, he'll also get a $400,000 lump sum payment. Abbott can expect to receive about $570,000 from the structured settlement, whose proceeds are tax-free and do not have to be reported to the Internal Revenue Service. Later in his career, he passed a law limiting the amount of money someone can get from a settlement like the one he received. He has also actively worked against people with disabilities, making it harder for them to get benefits. Sonation, fuck him. Fuck Greg Abbott. I'm with Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. Michael Watts admitting. So this is an admission of a war crime. They killed over 50 people to get one guy. Oh man. Anyways. Alright, I'm not really into playing Minecraft today. Sorry. There's gonna be a big nationwide April 5th protest at state capitals on next Saturday. So please go to that. Everyone. Everyone. Everyone? There we go. Chunk. Okay, there it goes. So, alrighty then. Well, I think that will do it for me this morning. I don't have a whole lot of stuff. I did like a lot of Let's Play episodes this week, and I talked a lot. So, if you want to see like some of the I guess I should go to the new place. Man, I must have did something. I don't know what I did, but it's looking really smooth. I don't know how it's looking on your side, but it's like butter smooth. Butter. Even here, when the frames per second are only like 63, it's like where it's chugging along, it's still pretty smooth. All right. Yeah. Please go to the next protest. We gotta keep up the pressure. We can't let Signalgate die. I'm kind of sick that we're back to killing a bunch of innocent people to get one person. I thought we had gotten over that, but I guess not. So, anyways, until next time, America. Peace. Pogokino out. Stop.